previous video in this series, I introduced the stress container that can help us understand how we experience stress and how to address your stress levels. You can also use the stress container activity to identify helpful coping methods that will help you to manage your stress more effectively. But what is a coping method? Coping methods, also called coping mechanisms, are simply the strategies we often use to help us feel less stressed or to help manage difficult emotions. Helpful coping methods allow us to relieve some of the stress that we carry around in our stress containers, acting like a tap that we turn on to reduce our levels of stress. Helpful coping is essential to prevent our containers from overflowing. Helpful coping can include things like being physically active, spending time doing activities that we enjoy, or talking to our friends about how we feel. Not all coping methods are helpful though. Some activities might feel good in the short term, but actually stop us from dealing with our stress. They shut off the tap on our containers and just cause a further build-up of stress, meaning we get closer to the container overflowing. We call these unhelpful coping methods, and they can include things like overworking, relying on too much caffeine or alcohol, or suppressing and bottling up our feelings. It's important to remember that none of us are perfect, and we all use some unhelpful coping methods from time to time. It's not about being embarrassed or ashamed of these, but increasing our awareness of when our stress levels are high and when we employ unhelpful methods so that we can make more helpful choices instead. Take a minute or two to think about what kind of things you tend to do that help you cope when your stress levels are high. Here's a few things to think about. Do you think these choices are helpful or not? Are they helping you empty your stress container, or are they shutting off the tap? And most importantly, what are the one or two things that you find most helpful that you can keep in mind to try next time you're feeling stressed? Remember, there's no right or wrong way to cope with stress. While certain strategies have generally been shown to be more effective at relieving stress, it's about figuring out what works best for you. Thanks for watching. See you soon.